All right, good morning. It is day 2, Monday, here in Las Vegas. Nice and sunny, and I'm about to head into the North Hall and the Central Hall. Let's get in there, and I'll take you along for the ride. All right, my first stop of the day is...
Hi, I'm Simon from Marquis. Thanks for stopping by our booth. For this year for NAB, we're talking about launching our new framework, our plans for how we'll use our integration solutions and build our workflow solutions going forward, and bring every level of the operations through under a nice flexible control that allows you to use best-of-breed solutions, whatever you want to use, and allow the integration and the workflow management to be handled by us. Hopefully keep these nice and simple but powerful. We're also launching our post-flux for Pro Tools workflow for archiving and transferring Pro Tools session files. And as ever, we're expanding the workflows and what we're talking about for our integration solutions for Eivind and other production environments.
And we are now off to EVS to get an update on their Via Map platform. And they're right over here.
So we have an internal initiative on what we're referring to as corporate media center or corporate newsroom, depending on how one wants to phrase it. The asset management products that we have and the integration we have with more traditional newsroom vendors is really compelling in this space. They're trying to accomplish the same things in the corporate media center as they are in a modern newsroom. Story-centric. I need to share assets with the graphics department or the executive suite for review and approve, or other people in the organization that may need access or centralized workflows, centralized media repositories to enable efficiencies. How do corporations communicate? How do they react quickly in the event of some unforeseen political or global event? All of these tools that we have built for modern broadcast are hyper relevant to the modern corporate media center.
All right, that was EVS and Mike Shore with some really good information on sort of how corporate video will make use of broadcast technology. Now we're going to head over to Cuez, which is a kind of a newsroom management storytelling platform, and look forward to getting the latest from them as well.
Hi, I will now in a couple of minutes explain you why Cuez is so important and so relevant for corporates. First of all, we have our 3 applications, of which Rundown, scripting and Rundown application and our Automator application are really relevant for corporates. In Rundown, you will be preparing your corporate show, and in Automator, our application, you will be running your production. Let me just show you quickly what the Rundown application looks like. So this is Cuez Rundown and scripting, and this is where you will be essentially preparing your town hall meeting, your corporate presentation. That could be an hybrid presentation, that could be a remote presentation, only virtual, can be anything. The strength of the interface is that it's a really modern interface, easy to learn, intuitive, and that every user can create it and customize it so it completely fits the type of live production that you're going to run. Once you have defined and programmed your production, the next step is you will go to the Automator application to run your show. Running your show looks like this. So this is the Automator application. I position myself on my first block to start the show on the vMix, which you can see in the upper screen. We will be running the show, so 4, 3, 2, 1, start show. There is an opener, as you can see, and after the opener, we have programmed the Automator so it switches to the studio, and there is some lower third, some graphics that come in that can be removed manually or automatically. In this case, I'm going to remove it manually by hitting the clear graphics button. And this is how you're going to operate this production, just by simply hitting the buttons and by hitting the space bar, for example, on your keyboard. You will be running through the show and you will be producing the live show or event that you will be using for your corporate application. It's just as simple as that. So I hope it explains in a few words what we do, and looking forward to talking to you and to meeting you. Thank you.
All right, that was some cool information from Cuez. And now we're moving to our first MAM of the day from Axle.ai and my old friend Sam.
Hi, I'm Sam with Axle.ai. We do media management software that runs on-premise with AI built in. So all of it is on-premise, it stays secure, and it lets you catalog and search and manage your media. We've just recently acquired another company called Portfolio. They do the same thing for images that we do for videos. And so we're bringing together the strengths of the two businesses. We have over 1,500 customers.
Interesting session with both an on-premise MAM and a DAM. And now we're going to move over to Obvious Future and take another look at their AI product, Cara 1.
Hello, my name is Juan. I'm a developer in Obvious Future. This is Cara 1 XT, and we are at NAB 2026. The new features that we have included in this latest version is Cara 1 can work as a meta MAM. It can work above any of your legacy MAMs, new MAMs, LTO libraries, NAS storages. Cara 1 can handle all of your media assets in only one interface, making the drive of the editor easier. Also, we have added these new MCP technologies where we can actually use our own LLM agents for making life of the editors easier and allowing them to make quick scripts, automations, and everything they want to make the editing process more flawless.
We're now going to head over to Backlight and get an update on, in particular, Iconic.
At Iconic this year, we're really focused on partnerships and extensibility. We've brought in some new tooling from Cutting Room to let you do native editorial right within Iconic itself. We've also partnered up with LucidLink on a LucidLink Connect API integration. And then we're bringing in a lot of things to allow you to share your content to a wider audience more easily. A publishing panel to allow you to natively send things to various social media platforms, as well as DRM and forensic watermarking for high value content, to be able to track the provenance of that throughout the entire media lifecycle. We're really also focusing on enabling our customers to better find media in their content library as it scales. So we're using various different AI tools to enhance that media, enhance the library itself, but not lose the power that is involved in the scale of operations that we currently support for our customers and the billions of assets that currently live in Iconic.
And now we're going to head over to Projective and taking some friends with me there, and we'll see what information we can get.
Thank you for coming to the Projective stand. We're here today showing our version 7 of Strawberry. Strawberry is a production asset management system, and what it takes care of is managing all of the procedures and processes needed for an active production. And that could be, arriving there, setting up your folder structure, auto-naming and adding metadata, acquiring permissions for who can access that project, and then actually enabling the storage such that when a editor joins that project, they can then just mount that automatically as a local drive. We extend that process to allow collaboration not only to go with editors, but we then go to a browser level so we can actually contribute from the producer level so they can actually engage with the media, annotate, and actually have that delivered directly into the editing client so they can actually see that process. And then we've taken that further. One of the things version 7's really enhanced upon is the interface, which also takes into a full review and approval system now. So now we can send out email links that will link to a panel, which will allow a person to approve an element or reject, and actually mark and annotate at timecode base as part of that process that then links back into that collaborative environment. Some of the really big new things for us for this year is how we've integrated AI. We obviously know there's lots of AI out there, but having advanced AI workflows where we can use AI and bring it into a centralized managed area so that when we apply AI, it's available for everyone, not just for the person who's been doing the AI elements. Our first show of this is we've got a full transcription service. That transcription obviously transcribes all of the audio tracks and enables people then to search on that basis and actually even select a specific sentence, and we will then subclip that element and bring it straight into an Adobe timeline and allow you to edit that with handles from that process onwards. We've expanded that search capability beyond the transcribe along with semantic searching. So this is how we can now describe images that we are looking for, and then we have a very highly accurate scenario of how to bring that together and up front to the people. One of the things we've done in bringing the semantic searching is we've done a heavily optimized AI element that typically can run on the existing Strawberry server clients and doesn't have the requirement for additional hardware or additional processor power to actually make that work. And that's a quick update for Strawberry at NAB 2026.
All right, we're hurrying along now. Next up is Media Anywhere with their Airframe technology and Airframe 1 product. Basically, it's like an old dream of mine of seeing the Internet of Frames come to life. So let's sit inside and meet, I guess he's kind of a hero of mine, James Kane from Airframe.
Hello, I'm James. I'm one of the co-founders of Media Anywhere, and we're just launching our first product available for general consumption, and it's called Airframe 1. If you've got a bucket full of media in an S3, then we can open that bucket and index it and securely allow you to have a view of what's in that bucket. Here we're looking at a file that's stored in Oregon and we're in Vegas scrubbing up and down. The thing that's a problem with this is this web codecs can only decode in the browser native codecs, and your bucket may have loads of things in that aren't going to play well inside a browser. If you've got media that can't be played in web codecs, we can on the fly transcode it to a form that can be played in web codecs. So we're not having to eagerly make a load of proxy. We can take your bucket, whatever you've got in it, XD, CAM, ProRes, we can open it in the browser and allow you to edit it and play it. Then we can also do the same. We can open any of the files you've got in your S3 buckets in Premiere. And we've got a panel in Premiere that allows us to see the same thing. And then as we open it in Premiere, Premiere now thinks this file is fully local, and it's still actually stored in the cloud. And I can go scrubbing up and down this as if it were local and then edit it in a normal way.
And now for something quite different. We're now heading to my friends at Vizrt to take a look at some of their solutions that target the corporate and enterprise video market, specifically some AR and graphics tools that I think could be really interesting.
This is an environment where we can bring data, we can bring 3D data in, so I can open mine, this, as you can see, and I could bring in a pie chart so that we could also have a different example of some data. And what if I wanted to remove the background, but I just wanted to keep the bucket? So now I'm in a brewery environment.